Hey guys, how's it going? All right, today we are in the laboratory setup because I'm gonna be taking you through my process of how I make perfumes. Pretty much completely from like start to finish. What we are doing today is we're having like a little team formulation session, we'll call it. So we're working on some new formulations because a lot of our current formulas we've already got big batches for, and we don't need to do our massive batches just yet. Speaking of which, so these are our nice big batches. They're looking very, very good. Anyway, I'm gonna be taking you through my process start to finish. So what I have been doing over the last few weeks is kind of collating a notes file on my phone. Basically just brainstorming ideas for different fragrances I can make. My kind of default setting is I will choose kind of like 3 notes I wanna have as the heroes of the fragrance, and then I build it from there. So the one I'm working on right now is a lavender-based fragrance. So the hero notes here are gonna be lavender, olibanum, and black pepper. So it's gonna be a little bit resinous, but really like herbal, fresh, and a little bit like sharp and spicy as well. So when I have that brief for myself, I then start to build a formula around it. And I start to brainstorm different chemicals that I wanna have in it. So right now I've probably got about 10 chemicals. There's still a few things I need to just add just to flesh it out a little bit more. So right now I am just gonna be going through the process. I'm a bit stuck. Linalool acetate. Oh, okay. Yes, I should add that. I need it to bridge the lavender and the resin. Okay, so that's about 15.
Add a bit of labdanum.
Labdanum? Oh, true. Oh,
a tiny bit of labdanum, because you don't want it to be too sharp.
Yeah. Okay, so I've got my first initial formula. At the moment, it's got about 15 components sitting in there. So basically just getting a bunch of things for like the fragrance components, but also some like functional things in there as well. I will not be kind of going into depth of the fragrance formula that I'm using today because, you know, trade secrets, all of that. But now what I'm doing, now that I've got the list of chemicals that I'm using, from here, I will assign kind of like a target parts. So these will be the targeted proportions that I'll be using, and I'll kind of decide, you know, what I want that target part to represent. And now I'm gonna assign the target parts, and then from there, I'm gonna go and get all my materials. All right, cool. I have assigned my target parts. Now this is based off a rough percentage of how I know that the fragrance component is gonna perform. So I've got a good idea of kind of the recommended percentage of usage. So then I'll assign parts based on that percentage of usage. It makes sense in my mind, but no, this is not the correct way to do perfumery, but this is just kind of how I do it anyway. And this is only kind of like a first draft anyway. I will make adjustments to this until I'm perfectly happy with it. All right, let's get our materials. Alrighty, so I have got all of my components here in front of me. So I'm pretty much just gonna start mixing together.
I think that you might want to fuck with because you said that you wanted like cedar wood.
Yeah.
But that's only 10%, just, you know, so it won't be as strong as the...
Yeah, I can't really get much of it.
Yeah, it's not as strong.
It smells nice. I'm happy to try and give it a go with the natural component at the moment. Basically what I'm doing at the moment, like when I get my target parts and I get them in there, I'll then record the weight of it. So when I have my finished composition, it'll then give me the percentage that it is in there. So when we go to making a bigger batch, I can just copy this percentage of the composition into our batch preparation form. And then that way it'll just tell me how much I need to make a particular size batch for this one. You're good? Do you need help with anything?
I'm looking for acetylene, but I couldn't seem to find it.
Acetylene?
Oh, no, I have it in my fucking armpit, that's why. Look. I was looking at it everywhere. That was for the past like 10 minutes. I was looking for it. Warm 10 minutes, and then that's why I stuck it inside my armpit. And then I saw like, oh, freak. And I saw like, oh, now I have something under my armpit. And I put it, I was like, oh, it's okay.
Oh
Sorry,
my God. That's staying in the video, by the way.
It smells salt and vinegar chips.
Oh, I'm not a fan, I must say. Oh, it smells beautiful. Oof. Check this out. Labdanum Absolute is that thick. It really is. So now we're coming towards the end. I've got a couple more components left. I'm really hoping this smells good. From what the components I've been putting in have smelled pretty good. But just putting the finishing touches on everything now. All right, lovely. So we are finished. I have got the final mix in this little bottle in here. So what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to mix this whole thing together and get everything to dissolve up. Shake it, shake it, shake it, shake it, shake it like a Polaroid picture. Don't think I used enough solids in here that I'm going to need to put DPG in to dissolve it, but we'll find out, I suppose. I'm going to put this in there just to get everything around. What the shaking does is it obviously helps dissolve everything in there, but it also allows for everything kind of just to mix in together as well. We're getting there, we are getting there. If you can see, and there's not too much left to dissolve. We have to use the warm bath. So we've got the finished version of that, all nice and dissolved up after being sonicated. It smells interesting. Let's get this thing into a bottle and let's test it out. So I'm gonna make this up to about 10% concentration. That's always a kind of a good benchmark. If you have seen my recent video on fragrance concentrations, you'll know that that is an eau de toilette. That's the color of the juice that we've got, so very like pale yellow. And I'm just gonna put it straight into my bottle. So I know that this is a 10 ml atomizer bottle. I'm just gonna get my spray bottle here of Perfume's alcohol and just spray this bad boy in. There we go, alrighty. So as you can still see, it is still pretty split there. So what I'll need to do is just like kind of do a little topsy-turvy, get it all mixed in like so. It's pretty cool. Like you can see the oil kind of moving around in there, which is really cool. And then what you want to do is introduce some oxygen into the system just to get that kind of to dissipate. So I'm just gonna spray like so. Gloves are off. So we are gonna give this thing a test. I'm gonna get my, my colleague here to also test it. Ooh, that's interesting. Yeah, I'd say it's like a warm. There's like a. It's warm. I think it's warmer than a typical like. It's warm and resinous. Oh! The frankincense is starting to come through now. Oh wow. No, I'm pretty happy with this. This is pretty good. I'll need to let this kind of sit and macerate for a little bit longer. But first impressions on this, I am pretty happy with. At this stage, it won't be getting released anytime soon. It's gonna go into kind of our fragrance library. But I'll tell you what, I'm pretty happy with the first draft of that. It's probably a little bit sweeter than I imagined it would be. I imagine probably initially it would be more herbal and sharp and more green, whereas this to me feels a little bit more sweet. But overall, I'm quite happy with that first attempt. Thank you. That's pretty much my process, start to finish, of how I get from idea to formulation to finished product. And look, I don't think this is completely finished. I think I will have to make adjustments. Whether I do that now or whether I kind of put it into our library and we revisit on a later date, not too sure. But this is kind of the first draft. This is how I would create an initial concept for a fragrance. Say for example, I'm completely happy with this. My next steps would be to then convert what I've got in my tester form into our batch prep form. So get those percentages all correct, and then we can make a bigger batch of it if we need to. Right now though, I'm pretty happy with what I made. I completely understand that this is not I suppose, the fully traditional way of making perfumes. But for me, I like to kind of create concepts in my brain, put them onto a formula sheet, and then see how they're all gonna kind of act together. And then I can pick up with my nose and identify where I might need to make any adjustments. So at least in the beginning, I just really like to get everything together into one mix just to see how it smells, really. I only made about 2.5 grams of material there, so it's not the end of the world if I don't use that. Obviously, we'd like to minimize waste where we can, but this is good kind of preparation, at least. This is my process. This is the process that works for me. My colleague standing next to me does not follow the same process. He has his own process, and that's completely okay as well. His processes produce some amazing perfumes as well. It's a very creative process. Everyone has their own way of doing things, and this just happens to be my way of doing it as well. Anyway, this is kind of a little bit more of a different video for you today, just something a little bit more in the wild. I really hope you did enjoy. If you do have any questions at all about anything you've seen here today, any of my processes, please let me know in the comments, and I'm more than happy to answer. If you are new here and you would like to continue following my journey as I become a better perfumer and I continue to work on a fragrance brand, hit the follow or subscribe button. It is really appreciated. But anyway, that is all that I have for you guys today. I hope you have a great week, and I will see you guys next time. To take your time, what's the rush? Ooh, 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 ooh.